again, in speaking about women, there has been a very big fixation on biological children, stepchildren, women that have children versus women that don't have children. It's like a huge point somehow of this entire election, right? I saw the governor of Arkansas said, "My kids keep me humble." Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble. How did that make you feel?
I don't think she understands that there are a whole lot of women out here who, one, are not aspiring to be humble. Two, a whole lot of women out here who have a lot of love in their life, family in their life, and children in their life. And I think it's really important for women to lift each other up. You know, I'll tell you, Alex, one of the things that I have really enjoyed about where the discussion has gone, one of the places it's gone, we have our family by blood, and then we have our family by love.
That's right.
And I have both. And I consider it to be a real blessing. And I have two beautiful children, Cole and Ella, who call me Mamala. We have a very modern family. My husband's ex-wife is a friend of mine, you know, and also I'll tell you, look, I'm a child of divorced parents. And when I started dating Doug, my husband, I was very thoughtful and sensitive to making sure that until I knew that our relationship was something that was going to be real, I didn't want to form a relationship with the kids and then walk away from that relationship. My own experience tells me that, you know, children form attachments and you really want to be thoughtful about it. And so I waited to meet the kids, and they are my children. And I love those kids to death. And family comes in many forms. And I think that increasingly, you know, all of us understand that, you know, this is not the 1950s anymore. Families come in all kinds of shapes and forms.
This ain't the 50s. I put people in their place no more.
You know, can I talk about that piece?
Sure.
I think in terms of like a branding perspective, this was an amazing clip.
Yes.
To circulate, because it really shows a personality to her that I think a lot of people have been looking for.
Showed her personality to you?
I mean, I thought that was kind of sincere. Yeah, like to me, I thought that was like an honest take. And I just like that insight into her romantic life. And I think because it hasn't been really since, you know, I think the main three presidents that you think about when you think about romantic lives and interest from the public is Kennedy, Clinton, and Obama. I think those are the 3 ones. So like people asking all these questions about Kamala, am I wrong on that, Miracle? Or is that just like a observation from your point?
No, I do think that I think the problem with Kamala is that she does not know how to shorten her answers.
Yeah, she there's a lot of exposition. Yeah.
And you just
said she could have just came to get to the point, Kamala. Is that?
Because I think the fact that she was like, some women don't want to be humble. I think that was
the soundbite right there. That was the full stop.
That was the clip. The second thing was like, you don't need to have children to care about the world.
Or
the future. And I do like how she went through like her own personal experiences, but like your family is your family. And the fact that you think you have to have kids to care about the world makes absolutely no sense, because you care about the world and you put your children in your state into slave labor by saying they could work in factories as young as 14 with like no breaks.
Exactly.
So like, you know, Miss Huckabee, like, I don't know what kids you care about.
Yeah.
But, you know, I care about more
not the
kids
ones
than
at them
you do.
factories. Yeah.
You know, like, so I do, but it's fascinating watching people see that clip of her and how they are responding to that, because it's like,
I thought it was endearing. I think that's the word I would use. It's endearing.
And I also do think that, like, as someone who does not have children, that's a conversation you hear all the time.
All the time. Yep.
Right, like, and that was JD Vance's thing, right? That like people that don't have children don't have as much of an investment into the American experience, right? And it is
I would
weird.
actually argue people who don't have children have more of an investment into the experience because we have to fend for ourselves and make sure that we are better, like in our later years, right? If we don't have, like, some people,
Nobody's coming for you.
right,
Nobody's showing up at the nursing home.
That's
think about it, like, and if
That's Kevin Samuels. It's just gonna be you and that cat and that dog.
think about it, if you are dating someone who is your age range, you're both gonna be like old together, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to be taking care of each other. So like you have to make sure there's a social.
So you telling
security
people to
net.
date younger?
You're,
Or maybe adopt, maybe. Adopt to a child so you have somebody take care of you in your old
what I
age.
said.
Okay.
That is not what I said. But no, I was.
Say, I'm
like,
accepting
first of all, I
applications.
see you being shady over there, and I see that, and I'm gonna recognize it, and I'm gonna move on from it.
Again, back to the issue.
Just gotta save my.
Here are the Republicans, right? And you would think like you want to get all the votes that you can, right? So like, why would you continually diss people that don't have children? It's very weird, right? That like now, if you don't have children, you're not humble. Like, why would you even say, you know what? So now, because that doesn't just apply to Kamala, it applies to mad people that don't have children.
Yeah, like
And
there's
more
so many
and more-
reasons people
right.
don't have children.
And more women are choosing not to have children. You know what I'm saying? And so like as that grows, like so now they're not humble or
Like,
so
have
even
you seen
Yes.
men though? Like I just don't understand. Like have you?
That's a solid
like,
fucking point, and you can't even argue that
the
one.
men we're supposed to be having children with, like number one.
it's bad out
Number two, for someone like a JD Vance who has said people with
Imagine
children,
having children with JD Vance.
people
like,
with children should have a
brown
better.
children that he won't even protect.
You know what I
like,
mean?
JD Vance is literally throwing his children under a bus to win an election. I mean,
Yeah.
this man is fucking
Family
crazy.
therapy is gotta be wild.
Yes.
But think about it. He said that people who have children should have more votes. Like,
Yes, yes.
So what you're also seeing is people trying to demonize women who do not have children
Yes.
to disparage not only our ability to vote,
Yes.
but our ability to work. So that way we get stuck with these men who need to like lord over us.
Yes.
Or rule.
Yeah,
Tell you what to do.
You know, that's like this whole like, you know, family structure that they're trying to like force.
Yes.
And so that is like this long game of using culture and the social engagement to start to disparage women so that we're like forced to now take these husbands and bear these kids and, you know, get out of men's business, which is the business of running a country.
So